6-speed manual, a 2-liter, 200 brake horsepower, 150 pound-foot of torque. This is the Subaru BRZ. And of course, we're going to start off today's show with quick dismissals. Honda is making a new Civic wagon, and it looks terrible. Honda, leave ugly to the professionals like Subaru.
And Subaru's came out with their new Forester, and this thing's just a boring piece of sheet metal. My nephew's made paper airplanes far more exciting than this thing.
Break out your tank top and your best pair of cut-off jeans, because Ford has sold its 1 millionth Mustang. But don't celebrate just yet, because Toyota claims it's sold over 5 million hybrids. So, sorry Walmart shoppers, the Trader Joe's crowd is won.
And Honda's come out with their new minivan called the M, and by the looks of it, they should just called it the all chrome, because this thing would look so much better if it looked absolutely nothing like it does.
BMW is currently testing its new 2 Series. First the X4, now this. What are you doing, BMW? Why don't you change what everybody doesn't like about your cars now, instead of just selling us new ones? Hyundai is testing its new Genesis sedan at the Nürburgring, which makes total sense, because before you throw down $40K on what's supposed to be a luxury car, you want to know how much G you can pull in the corners. Range Rover, evidently, is now making a Kia Soul. Looks like Subaru is going to be sticking with its formula for the new STI. It'll be boring to look at, but fun to drive. The NSX has a whole load of pre-orders in the UK, but like I always say, money don't make you smart. Lamborghini is considering making the last Gallardo in a manual. Congratulations, Lamborghini. You're finally where Audi was 8 years ago. Buick, for some reason, is showing off a concept Riviera. How on earth did we lose Saab and Pontiac but keep Buick? McLaren is insisting that its brand new P1 was designed entirely by the wind. It's bad enough people are losing their jobs to robots and slave labor, but now we're competing with the elements? You know what, McLaren? Instead of focusing on marketing, you should promote the team of what I consider geniuses who actually built the dang car. Although I would like to see what Fire would make, if Fire would show up on time. The Nissan GTR has raced a fighter jet. Because if there's one thing keeping people from buying the GTR, it's the competitive pricing of a fighter jet.
And Ford's come out with their new Shelby Raptor, and the only thing this tramp stamp on wheels is missing is a gun rack and your trailer park manager yelling at you for the utilities.
And that's been quick dismissals. And now, the moment I know I've been waiting for, the Subaru BRZ. My one fear about this car, though, is that it will replace the Mitsubishi Eclipse as a stripper car. 2 doors, rear-wheel drive, decent gas mileage. A lot of people criticize it for its lack of horsepower, but I think 200 horsepower is fine with what you kind of want to do in it. Which for me is just kind of drive and have some fun. You want to hear something kind of boring? The injectors from this car are from Toyota. And the engine actually sits 9 inches farther back in front of the wheels than it normally would on all the other Subarus. This is the premium trim, and it comes with clearly the GPS unit, which is kind of ridiculous and stupid to use. Example, every time I start it up, I have to tell it that I agree to not kill myself while operating the car. Then it also tells me another nice little message indicating that I can use onboard memory for my music. I think I could have figured that out on my own. Oh, and let's say you're driving and you need to put an address in. Guess what? You have to stop, because the system automatically shuts itself off from you inputting any new information when you're driving, which is annoying. The one downside about this car is its price. For the same amount of money, you can get pretty much the same layout and get a lot more car and a lot more horsepower for less. The BRZ retails from $25,000 to $28,000 depending on options and comes with 200 horsepower. Problem is the Camaro, which you can get for $22,000 to $24,000, comes with 323 brake horsepower at the cheapest level in the V6, which is more. Although it does weigh more, the problem is, though, it's got more horsepower. And if that's something you really want, I think that's probably going to be a better car. Clearly, the Camaro is bigger, but you know what? That means that if I'm in an accident, I kind of have more room to kind of be crumpled in. Whereas with this car, I feel like if I wrecked it, I don't think I'd make it out. I mean, I'm surrounded by airbags, but in a T-bone situation, there's not a lot between me and the door, other than my ribcage. And don't worry, it does come with a back seat, although you will have to remove your own legs to actually be comfortable back there. They really should have just put a shelf so you can put your groceries there. I will say this, I think the people who are buying this car want specifically this car. Like, they are not Mustang owners, they are not Corvette owners. They're people who like Subarus, and they want a rear-wheel drive car. And they would prefer a Subaru with only 200 horsepower over a comparable car that has more horsepower for a low price. You know, I didn't think I would like this car with the straight axle, because that's the one thing I don't like about the Mustang. I mean, it's fine, but you know, when I hear that they're going to put a straight axle on a car, it doesn't exactly excite me. And make no mistake, this car is tail happy. But what I think surprises me most about it is I did a small test run, clearly going on the freeway, and I drove as economically as I could, and I didn't break 65 miles an hour. But I was able to average 39.8 miles per gallon. It's ridiculous. I don't even think a BMW gets that. I mean, unless you buy it in the diesel. But as far as rear-wheel drive goes, I don't think there's a more economical car out there. But honestly, if it were my money, I think I'd buy the Scion. You can get them for $24, $25 on the lot. They're going to be the exact same car. I mean, yeah, you're not going to get leather seats, but honestly, when was the last time you were driving around and someone made fun of you because you didn't have leather seats? Rarely does it happen. But it does have something about it. It has a charisma that I didn't expect. You know, with most Japanese cars, I expect them to kind of be very straightforward, and you know, you get what you see. It's how I see Japanese cars. But this one, for some reason, I don't know. It has an ease about it. Like, it has a sense of humor almost. I mean, yeah, it's styled to look kind of cool and to be taken seriously, but it's quirky as well. I like it. I didn't think I would. I thought its lack of horsepower would be disappointing. I thought the fact that it was a straight axle would mean that it handled like garbage. I mean, make no mistake, you're sitting real low and you feel and hear everything. But you know what? I would kind of expect it in this car. It may not be a road tripper, but it's certainly a fun grocery getter. Thanks for watching. Please like us, and as always, subscribe.